for time served. This is the image defendant John Diddy Combs wants a court to consider during his sentencing hearing. A loving father, family man, and successful music industry entrepreneur who's made mistakes but is remorseful for his actions. In July, a jury convicted Combs on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He was acquitted of more serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. During the high-profile trial, jurors heard emotional and graphic testimony from Combs' former girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura, who alleged over the course of their rocky relationship, Combs forced her to have sex with strangers. Encounters Ventura claims the rapper watched and recorded. Jurors also saw this disturbing video of Combs beating Ventura in the hallway of a Los Angeles hotel. Jurors also heard testimony from other women who accused Combs of threats, sexual assaults, beatings, and blackmail. Attorney Gloria Allred.
Some of the victims are afraid that because he knows their names, because the defense was given their names as potential witnesses, that he may get out and try to retaliate.
Combs' legal team will make the case these encounters were voluntary sex acts between consenting adults. The judge, however, said today those claims are, quote, flatly inconsistent with both reality and any acceptance of responsibility. The judge has also decided to apply a sentencing enhancement. That could mean more prison time since Combs threatened to disseminate videos of the sexual encounters to coerce the victims.
I do believe that the judge is going to give Diddy sufficient time in federal custody. There is no shot that he is going to give P. Diddy the 14 months that the defense is arguing. I also don't think that the judge is going to give the 11 years that the government is asking for.
Combs' children testified today, saying their father is completely transformed. His son, Justin Combs, calling his dad a superhero who's now drug-free and has refound his purpose. Prosecutors also told the court it's clear this isn't just a case about freak-offs or hotel nights. It's a case with real victims who've suffered real harm at the hands of the defendant. It's about a man who did horrible things to other people to satisfy his own sexual gratification. Cassie Ventura has written a letter to the judge asking for a tough sentence. She wrote that Combs will never change. Quote, he will always be the same power-hungry, manipulative man that he is. The prosecution blasted Combs this morning for what they believe is his confidence that he'll soon be released. That's because Combs has already booked speaking engagements in Miami set for next week before learning his sentence. Sam and Glenn.
All right, thank you, Corrine. Well, some residents heard an explosion before the massive fire at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo that burned through the night.
The fire is now under control, and now there are concerns it could impact gas prices. KTLA's Chip Yost is live in Manhattan Beach with more on this story. Hi, Chip.
Yeah, hello there. We are here in Manhattan Beach. This refinery is right on the edge of Manhattan Beach in El Segundo. You see it here behind me, but we've got another view. We've got Sky 5 HD live above right now. And the good news right now is we're hearing from Chevron that the fire at the refinery is under control, and this is a very important refinery in California. Produces a big chunk of the gas that we use in our cars. The fire caused a lot of concern. There was immediate concern for the health of the people who live around here, but now there is also concern about how this fire might impact gas prices. As documented in multiple social media videos, the fire at one of the largest refineries in California was a scary sight for some of those who live nearby.
I heard a big bang sound, and I just saw a big fire down the street.
It was kind of like a bomb to me. It was a very sudden, sharp, not an earthquake type feeling, but like a bomb had gone off somewhere. And I started walking towards the hallway, and all I could see through the windows were flames. So I thought for sure then the refinery, something had happened.
The fire started at around 9:30 Thursday night at the Chevron refinery in El Segundo, and people reported seeing the flames as far away as Pepperdine University in Malibu, about 20 miles away. One concern for the surrounding community was the air quality, something El Segundo's mayor talked about this morning.
but we've been looking at it all night. There's fence line monitoring all around this refinery, as well as a second cordon of point monitors. The highest we saw a small spike in VOCs about 11 p.m., right when the fire was at its hottest. But even that was about half the limit of the safe line. If the safe line, give or take, is about 500 parts per billion, we were in the high 200s briefly, and then it's come back down. South Coast AQMD is on site right now testing, as well as Chevron with hand monitors.
Chevron also said there were no injuries from the fire itself, but the potential impact on gas prices is still unknown. According to AAA, the refinery provides about 20% of the gas for vehicles in Southern California. AAA says back in 2015, another large fire at a refinery in Torrance did cause a spike in prices at the pump.
And what we saw is that fire was one of the major factors that pushed up gas prices in the Los Angeles area by $1.13 a gallon from February through May of that year. So we saw those pump prices really increase dramatically back then during that Torrance refinery. We're hoping that's not going to happen again with this fire, but right now it's just a wait and see game. We're going to be watching these prices very closely day after day.
Here's one more live look from Sky 5 HD. You can see things looking much better than what they looked like last night from some of that video we just showed you. Chevron says they are conducting an internal investigation to try to figure out what caused the fire. Meanwhile, the governor's office put out a statement saying the governor has been briefed on the fire here and they are coordinating with local agencies. For now, reporting here in Manhattan Beach, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
All right, thank you, Chip. It is day 3 of the U.S. government shutdown. At this hour, the Senate is voting on a proposal to reopen the government. That means the measure is expected to fail in the procedural vote, as now Democrats are expected to support the GOP-backed plan. The main issue of the shutdown is whether to extend subsidies for the Affordable Act, which are set to expire at the end of the year. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that 7.5 million low-income Americans could lose Medicaid coverage under the president's budget. Meantime, President Trump is threatening mass firings of federal workers during the shutdown. CNN is reporting the White House has already compiled a list of federal agencies targeted for layoffs, which could begin today.
Breaking news just a short time ago, Hamas officials said their response to the U.S.-backed peace plan is, quote, coming soon. Earlier on social media, President Trump announced he is setting a deadline for Hamas to agree to a peace deal to end its war with Israel. President Trump says the group has until 6 p.m. Eastern Sunday, or, quote, all hell like no one has ever seen before will break out against Hamas. He also asked all innocent Palestinians to immediately evacuate to safer areas of Gaza. Earlier this week, the president unveiled the peace plan after a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Apple has removed apps that reveal ICE operations from its app store. The company says they qualify for removal due to objectionable content. The developer of ICE Block is not happy and says that it's due to pressure from the Trump administration, but Apple says it's because such apps create potential safety risk for law enforcement agents. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says her office reached out to Apple demanding that ICE Block be removed.
The Pacific Air Show has taken flight.
But there are some favorite aerial acrobats that will not be seen this year. KTLA 5's Omar Lewis is in Huntington Beach with the details. Omar?
Yeah, good afternoon, Glenn and Sam. Yeah, the government shutdown means that you will not be seeing any Thunderbirds, no leapfrogs, and no military aircraft in the skies here in Huntington Beach. But as you mentioned, the show must go on. Things far from canceled. Want to take a look here this afternoon as one of those planes flies overhead here. Organizers say this show is far from canceled. In fact, they're promising a world-class lineup for a weekend that is typically one of the biggest of the year for the city of Huntington Beach. The Pacific Air Show is officially off the ground here today, drawing crowds from across the country, but fans are not seeing the usual military flyovers. 8 U.S. military acts, including the Thunderbirds, the Leapfrogs, and the Marines Osprey, were grounded after the shutdown froze. what's considered non-essential operations. Air show director here, Kevin Elliott, told us that he spent days working the phones, even getting updates from members of Congress. But in the end, there was no way to bring the jets back. And while some fans say they will miss the roar of our military aircraft, others tell us they're still just thrilled to be out here today.
We've done it about 3 times now, and we enjoy it. The only problem is of course, the Air Force and them are not flying this year, so when you come that far from home to see an air show and it's canceled, well, what do you do?
Sure, it's going to have a small impact in the show, but it's not going to be a big change. We brought out the Microjet. It is the world's smallest production kit airplane. It's like feeling like Iron Man. Like you wear the airplane and you put it on and you feel like you can literally fly.
And the skies will feature some local and international pilots and teams making their Huntington Beach debut, from Canada's Snowbirds to the UK's Royal Air Force Falcons. Civilian pilots will also be bringing everything from vintage military